face it, we have physical cravings. That we figure, if we figure we're going to achieve our goals, we'll be satisfied. How many of you buy that? If you achieve your goals, that's going to be satisfied enough. But we're never satisfied. When we have what we have and what we've set out to get, once we get it, it seems that we want a little bit more. J.C. Penney. How many ever heard of J.C. Penney? People may even shop there once in a while. Well, J.C. Penney was a good man. He was a good man. He was honest, he was forthright, and he was ambitious. And his goal was to make a lot of money. And he had said, I quote this one out of a book that I read, that when he had worked for Jocelyn Dry Goods in Denver, it was his ambition to be worth $100,000. And now at this time, he's making $6 a week. So you do the math. See how long it's going to take him to get to this $100,000. But he did reach his goal. He did make this $100,000. And then it wasn't enough. He set his sights on $1 million. And most of you know J.C. Penney's became one of the premier businesses around. And him and his wife had worked very hard to bring this business together. And both of them were very business-minded people. And they expanded the company. But one day his wife had caught a cold, which eventually turned into pneumonia, which in turn claimed her life. And when she had died, he said, "My world has crashed in around me. To build a business, to make success in the eyes of men, to accumulate money, what was the purpose of life?" What was the purpose of life? She could not take her share with it. What did money mean for my wife? He exclaimed. He said, "I felt mocked by life, but most importantly, I felt mocked by God." Mr. Penney became financially ruined. And he became very deep in distress. And this is where God can deal with self-righteous attitudes and striving for the money. After a spiritual conversion, he said, "I had to pass through fiery ordeals before reaching a moral conviction that it was not enough to be honest and upright and moral." And this came from the James S. Hewitt Illustrations Unlimited from Tyndale Publishers in 1998, page 49. I want to get that in there in case somebody says I'm trying to copyright something here. Not me. But Mr. Penney came to a place in his life when he realized that uprightness, morality, honesty, success, and wealth alone could not satisfy. I said alone. I didn't say couldn't have it. It's just alone it could not satisfy. Only humility and a total dependence on Jesus, the very bread of life, would bring him peace and bring him joy. The crowd that was there with Jesus said, "Lord, give us this bread. Give us this bread." Well, that, my friends, can become your personal prayer of faith as well. You can say, "Lord, give me this bread." Then Jesus can satisfy the Spirit. So you can never be hungry or never be thirsty again. Today is Communion Sunday. We'll partake of the bread to eat. And when we eat of it, as we just look at it as just bread, it will not satisfy the human hunger, ones that we all face. And the juice that we will drink today, the little glass, will not be enough to satisfy a human thirst. It won't be enough. But when we partake of it as being part of the life force which is intended to be, then it will become the source of what Jesus was talking about. The very essence of life, that you would never be hungry. You will never thirst again. The very thing. When we partake of it, the way How have you been tempted to fill your hunger, your strivings, your personal hunger? How have you been tempted to do that? I'm not talking about the physical hunger, but the deeper spiritual hunger. There's one that looms deep inside each and every one of us, the one that drives us. The hunger that connects you with the Father in heaven who loves you and wants to give you life. You connect. Have you been trying to fill a void in your life? A lot of us have. There's a void in a lot of our lives that we've been trying to fill. And have you been trying to fill it with things of this world? Of course you have. Of course you have. And a lot of times you filled it up only to find still an empty void in your life. Or maybe you've been pursuing things that will make you feel complete. So complete. I know I have many times pursued things that I thought would make me complete, only to find out that there's still the emptiness inside. But Jesus has been inviting us to come and receive Him so we may never again ever go hungry or never thirst for righteousness. So if you're dry or thirsty or feeling unsatisfied with your life, let this be an opportunity. Let today be an opportunity that you've been searching for. Because now is the time to relinquish your life to the one who first loved you. Come to the bread that satisfies. And come drink again so you may never thirst. Christ is bread for the world. Seek Him and find all the richness that you will ever need in life. Sir, give us this bread. Give us this bread.